such a huge honor to be standing on stage and be representing the whole country.
We condemn Israel's participation in the Eurovision Song Contest.
This year it's so much more than just another song, another contest, another performance.
Right now people are being murdered in Rafah, and at the same time we're going to have an artist coming from Israel. It's not right.
I feel like people have the right to say what they want to, but I'm focusing on the good.
Well, those are the words of a 20-year-old woman. Hers is the voice of Israel at this year's Eurovision Song Contest. Eden Golan is performing in Thursday night's semi-final competition ahead of the annual Pop Music Festival's finale on Saturday. Golan is performing in Malmö, Sweden, and not everyone is welcoming her with open arms.
Eurovision, same, same! Eurovision, same, same! Eurovision, same, same! Eurovision, same, same!
Thousands of pro-Palestinian demonstrators gathered in Malmö's Central Square, only a few kilometers from the performance venue. They protested against Israel's participation in the song contest. Well, Eden Golan was also booed while she was on stage at one of her rehearsals. And the lyrics to the song that she is singing at this year's contest, they were also challenged and changed. Jenni Zylka, a culture journalist and writer based here in Berlin, who's covered the song contest many times, told me more.
Yeah, the song used to be called October Rain, and then, of course, a lot of people said that this was the Hamas attack on the October 7th was meant with this title, and so she had to change it into Hurricane, or it's called Hurricane, and she had to change some of the lines too. So instead of singing "Those who write history stand with me," she's now singing "Writer of my symphony, play with me," and she's not singing "I'm still wet from this October rain, but I'm still broken from this hurricane." And you can, of course, read everything into both of the versions of the song. So I don't know what's happening with that.
And I mean, I don't want to paint a wrong or an incorrect picture here. I mean, when she performs Saturday night, there will be people in the crowd cheering for her, as there will be people cheering for every country, every candidate, every performer on stage, correct? Or will that not be the case?
Of course, if she's performing on Saturday, because as I said, today is the second semifinal. So if she gets into the competition on Saturday, it's going to be a very, very, very heated situation because, of course, it's live then, and there will be a lot of people supporting her in the audience, but also people against her. So it's maybe a question also of broadcast control, what to show, and it's definitely a sign for that politics are in this challenge. You know, the ESC is a political thing. It's not a so-called only cultural competition. It's a political thing because it's genuinely countries are fighting against each other. You know, with singing, with culture, but still it's a political thing as a
it's not supposed to be political. I mean, the spirit of the Eurovision Song Contest, you know, it came in the 1950s after the Second World War. You know, it was supposed to bring the continent together. The people who are protesting, they are pro-Palestinian protesters. So what beef do they have with an Israeli performing, or possibly performing in the finals Saturday night?
I mean, Malmö and in Malmö, there are a lot of people living there, have roots in some Arab countries. So it's a big community that is, of course, very angry with Israel. And I wouldn't say that the Eurovision Song Contest never was political, because it's first of all, it's for the European Broadcast Union (EBU) who has this constitution saying we are not political.
Right.
But the contest as such has always been political. There have been political songs, starting with, for example, Ein bisschen Frieden by Nicole, you know, a little piece from the 80s at the height of the Cold War. Yeah,
correct.
Who was the winner? There has been a Ukrainian song some years ago. It was called 1944 about the Crimean Tatars. So there has always been, of course, body politics politics has always played a big part. Like there has been Dana International from Israel as the first trans woman, also singing for trans rights. And of course, the queer community is a big part. And so it has always been political. I think it can stay political. I think it's okay that people are fighting in a peaceful way. It would be okay if the contest says we are well aware that people outside our cultural bubble have different meanings. But let's stay here for this life challenge. Let's stay peaceful. So that would be maybe something they should do.
The feeling, though, of this contest, I mean, you've covered them before. I mean, it's different this year, right? I mean, if you walk down the street in Malmö in Sweden, you're seeing police officers with machine guns. I mean, that's something that we really haven't seen in years past. And I mean, I dare say it really dampens and kills the party spirit if there was any to begin with. And yeah, of course, on one hand, it kills a kind of party spirit, but it also elevates this contest because, as I said, culture has a big power to include everything. Culture is an including power, so it never should exclude people. It should bring people together. And with being aware of that, I think there's a chance for the ESC contest or for the brand to readdress that. And it will also be important how the reporters report about all this thing if they are able to be sensible enough to say the right things and to not behave as if it wasn't happening. So because that makes no sense. We are political people everywhere, also in the cultural business. And I'm wondering, could this damage the song contest permanently? I mean, let's imagine if the Israeli, if she were to win on Saturday, that would mean next year the contest has to take place in Israel, in the middle of this Middle East powder keg. I mean, would the song contest be able to withstand this?
Of course, if there's still a war going on, they probably won't have the contest there. As the same as in Ukraine, who won last year, and of course they couldn't make this competition happen then. But I think it's a chance. It's a terrible mirror of what we are going through at the moment, of all the wars that we are surrounded by. But also we should see that it's a chance because, as I said, it's a cultural contest. It should happen with peace and with tolerance and with loving and understanding each other. So I'm very curious what happens on Saturday.
Yeah, well, hopefully there'll be more singing for peace instead of shouting in protests. Culture journalist Jenni Zylka, we appreciate you taking the time to talk with us tonight.
Yeah, pleasure.